Hello and welcome everyone. I usually say everybody, now everyone has confused me for some reason. To a discussion that I'm going to have with myself for a couple of minutes. That discussion, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video, is going to be themed around what I think is wrong with modern RPGs and what I think they're doing wrong. So what do I think they're going wrong? Where are they going wrong, or what are they doing wrong? Long story short, in just a couple of sentences, what I believe is the problem is that... first of all, the game in the background is The Witcher 3, and ironically, The Witcher 3 suffers the least from this problem, although it suffers from it as well. What I in just a couple of sentences to describe what I believe is a problem here with modern day RPGs is that there is no consequence that you have to deal with. You may deal with some consequences at the start of the game, but whatever choice you make in games that, let's be honest, are more or less all about making choices, whatever choice you make never comes back to bite you in the arse. Specifically when it comes to saving people or killing them, punishing them, in any way, shape or form. Doesn't have to be lethal. That's... Did she drown? Yes, it is a she. I realised that these bird-like creatures are actually half women, half mermaid, half birds. They have three halves, I guess. A third. Some call that a third, but I never graduated in maths, so... this is probably the worst position to fight these birds at, specifically because I cannot see shit, and taking them down is not helpful at all because they just get back up. Okay, good job. I've stuck myself here. Can I go underwater and, like, trick them? Nope, they can swim, of course, because they're mermaids. I've actually never experienced this type of combat ever before. Let's talk about a game that I've played recently. There's also a AAA title, an RPG, Dragon Age Inquisition. In that game, you have a lot of quests actually, where you get the choice to save someone or to punish them for blatantly working with an evil Magister of Tevinter. That's actually a bit of a spoiler, but don't worry about it. Working with the enemy, working with evil forces, shall we say, knowingly. Yeah, you can punish them for that, or you can forgive them. Just straight out forgive them. Whatever you choose doesn't matter. The Witcher suffers from this problem as well. Let's list a couple of characters in the Witcher series that you can save or you can kill. Whichever option you choose, they just fade out of existence when that happens. Sheila de Tanseville, Letho, Yorvith. There's more. Probably. Redania's Most Wanted. I'm not going to say who that is because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But that person as well. There's a couple more characters. Not to mention minor stuff. Simple, minute stuff. That is... you can't really count that. Here's the thing. I realise that not every character in the game can have his own storyline and a 4-hour quest line behind him. I realise that is not how you make games. That was awkward. I don't want to do any quests because I don't want to spoil anything. Thing is, I realise that, but I also realise that, for example, there was this one situation that I really disliked in Dragon Age Inquisition. There is a spy, a master of intrigue. I'm not going to say who or what he or she is and what her name is and what his name is, or I'm not going to say anything, right? But there is a spy at one point, and you have the option to kill her, obviously. You know, okay. You also have another option, to forgive her and let her go home. Whatever you do, she just fades out of existence. That's the gist of my problem. well, not my problem. That's what I think is kind of our problem nowadays in these games. You never deal with the consequences of your actions. When making a moral choice, let's say you save this spy, she will now become the most god-loving, benevolent, good person that you can imagine in the entire game. There has never been an NPC that betrayed you again. Fair enough. To those that have read Crime and Punishment, this makes sense, and yes, I have read it, and yes, I understand the logic behind this. A person that you forgave is incredibly unlikely to betray you again, because they're going to feel like they're betraying themselves, and it's going to be a complicated moral situation. It's very, very complex. It's almost doesn't have a very... Why can I not... Yeah, thank you for letting me use a sign, please, for God's sake. I realise that this may not be the happiest option to put such a thing in a video game. I'm gonna die to pirates. Perfect. Okay. And I realise that there is a lot to be said about that. Not just, oh, we should have consequences for whatever we do, for whenever we let someone go. The Witcher takes a different approach to this, and that's why I said it's the least of all RPGs, is probably the least affected by this situation that we have, this status quo that we have in the RPG world. Reasoning being, usually when you go for a good option that you think is good, is actually bad, and vice versa. Which is to say there is no good or bad in the Witcher series. CD Projekt Red have done an amazing job with this RPG series. There is no good or bad. Everything is this sort of grey area. You might even say that it's 50 Shades of Grey. Come on, that joke was just... I could not resist not making that joke. Come on, forgive me, okay? Please forgive me, I know not what I do. I have some Bryan Adams for you. But... I believe that there should be, maybe not side quests, but even in the main quest line, there should be certain, I guess you can call them plot twists, that need to happen. Because at one point you realise that every game out there is going to ask you to do two things. Be a moral person, or be a bit of a righteous, cruel person. Forgive someone, or kill him. For example, again, in Inquisition, because, let's be honest, these are the two most major games, and the chances are you've probably played them if you're interested in RPGs. The first mission for... Well, not the first mission. The first, Such a Choice, when it comes to Liliana. By the way, Lela's love, Lela's life, but let's not discuss that right now. You can tell I've played Origins way, way more than I should. So, like, 300 hours in that game. Actually, probably even more, I didn't check. I'm just getting lost here in conversation. What I'm trying to say is, one of the first quests for her is to let her, well, basically tell her and give her your opinion on whether she should. Oh wait. Yeah. Okay. Whether she should kill one of her spies that's gone out and betrayed her, or whether she should forgive him. Whatever you choose to do doesn't matter. It matters later, because if you want to build like a softer, more emotional Liliana from the Origins version, from the Origins game, like the first game, then you go for mercy. If you want to build a more cold-hearted, cruel one, you go for killing everyone, which is yada yada yada. But as far as that guy is concerned, it doesn't matter. Like, how cool would it be for you to suffer consequences for being the good guy? Because it's not always a choice of, oh, just let everyone live and forgive everyone. That's not exactly an option you can always make. And not suffer consequences for it. How cool would it be if, for that specific quest, a couple of months later, that guy goes and joins... I'm not going to say who the main villain is, because again, I don't want to spoil anything in this video. Chances are you already know. You're fighting the bad guy, right? The big bad guy. You know what I'm talking about. That's actually revealed fairly early on, so I might as well say it, but I'm not gonna. He goes and fights your mortal, not fights your enemy, but fights for your mortal enemy. That'd be pretty cool. And you'd be like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have let him live and never mention his betrayal to anyone ever again. Because he just did it again. I didn't do anything to stop him. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not asking anyone to make every quest line like this, whereby every time you save someone, every time he's going to betray you again, then you're not going to save anyone, are you? It's achieving the opposite effect. But nowadays, I feel like you never deal with consequences like that. You never deal with a realistic scenario. You're always given a choice between black and white. Almost always. Let's go back to the days of Baldur's Gate. You know, let's go back to the days of really old RPGs, the sort of D&D based RPGs. Let's go back to Dungeons and Dragons, the board game. Well, that's a great example. It's one of the best role-playing experiences you can have. D&D. Well, in my modest opinion. You deal with such things there. You don't deal with them always. They're rare and far in between. Far few in between, but they exist. And it keeps the storyline interesting. It keeps you thinking, keeps you guessing, keeps you tied into the game, you know? And The Witcher got around this fairly well, which I keep saying, that's why I'm showing The Witcher, because I think it's, honestly, I think it's the best when it comes to avoiding such a trap that we have nowadays in modern RPGs. But it seems to me that you're making the right choices or the wrong choices for the wrong reasons nowadays. Because you might choose to save someone because you get a better sword at the end of the quest. Not because you think you should do that, not because there are moral reasons for you to do that, not because you're engaged in the storyline, not because you're role-playing. And you should be role-playing in a role-playing game. You know, RPG. What it stands for, and if you're not role-playing in a role-playing game, you're playing an MMO, single player. It's turning into an MMO sort of because you pick the dialogue option that ends up giving you better loot, I guess. Is that what we're gonna reduce this to? Because I don't think we should. I really don't think we should do that. I think that moral choices in games are not a difference between green text and red text, are not a difference between forgiving someone and completely forgetting everything that they did and chopping his head off on the spot. And I realise why this is done. I realise that you can't put a moral dilemma and a 15-hour-long storyline about morals to each and every side quest character. I understand that, but at least something. Too many, I guess sort of, I'm sort of getting to the conclusion here that way too many games offer you a choice of black or white. And there is nothing in between. And that's not art. That's not an RPG. That's not anything. That's just choosing two different options that one might be good or one might be bad. Remember Fable? The last Fable game? Was it Fable 3? I think. I played through it. I don't think it was that bad. I liked all of the Fable games that I played, including the last one. I don't think it was that bad. Sure, it could be improved, but I kind of liked it. Mainly because you were this character that seemed so innocent. You know, it was great. Fallout 3 did this as well, where you are thrown into the shoes of this so innocent little kid, and then you sort of grow up, and you're learning about the world through first-hand experiences of being backstabbed and betrayed, and that always made you feel nice towards that character. And even at the end of the game, I just felt like a child, I guess, in the shoes of that character, because he is shorter and younger than 90% of people that he's going to come across, so there is that. I think that helps. But in Fable, this is a great example. I think it started from that era and then moved on towards nowadays. I think that's what we looked for, maybe even a couple of years back. But that's one of the games that started this trend. It gave me a choice of building a whorehouse or an orphanage. How more black and white can you get? How is that? That's not a moral choice. It is not. Trust me, you might think it is. It is not. So that would be more or less it. I'm very curious as what you guys think. I kind of want to engage my subscriber base, which is not that big, but they exist. I'm sure you guys exist. I know a couple of people that watch my videos as soon as I upload them, which is heartwarming, really. I really wonder, what do you guys think of this? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Probably you think I'm completely wrong, and I don't blame you. I usually am. Anyways, I really want to get a discussion going on about this, because I'm curious as to what you think. Do you think I'm right about this? Do you think there is some truth, some merit to this? Because I feel like that's how it's been going nowadays. Customs always right, yeah. I guess we're diving now to find his thing. Okay, I'm gonna end the video here because there's nothing else to say really. I've pretty much voiced my opinion, and there we go. That's it. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I wonder. There are sirens here. Are sirens hostile? In some scenarios, they are said to eat human flesh and kill sailors. In others, they're loving creatures that love everyone and make sweet love to sailors. Oh shit! I'm gonna suffocate. Am I gonna suffocate? Maybe, maybe not. Did I take a potion? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I've gone way too long enough. Take care until next time, guys. Bye-bye. See you.